Hi ladies, today I'm making a video for all of you who are interested in naturally supporting your cycle. Okay, so I'm such a health conscious person, and I have been pretty much all my life, but in the past few years I've been so interested and I have been learning so much. I probably read at least 150 books related to health and all, naturally staying healthy, and I just want to share what I've learned. The cycle is something that, in your menstrual cycle, in your monthly periods that you go through every month, a lot of your health is reflected in that. When there's any problems, whether it's just cramping or maybe heavy bleeding or maybe not enough bleeding or spotting or maybe a short luteal phase or a short follicular phase, there's always reasons for that. And so your cycle always reflects the balance in your hormone levels. And so it's never that, it's just one hormone that's off. It's usually the relationship between one and the other. For example, estrogen and progesterone. It's really about the ratio between the two that needs to be in balance, rather than thinking, well, I don't have enough estrogen, so I just need to take more estrogen. So it's that balance, and so many factors play into that balance, which, it's not about your cycle only. It's only that your cycle is a signal. It just signals you when something isn't quite balanced. So let's talk about stress. Stress is one of the hugest factors when it comes to health, ongoing, prolonged stress. And stress is never defined as anything like when you're doing a lot. Doing a lot doesn't mean you're stressed. Stress is an emotion and a feeling and a restlessness when you feel overwhelmed, whether it's, doing too much or having too much or, just worrying too much. Just whenever you feel like you're just too much, it's overload, that is stress. Stress is always like on the inside. When you do like hard physical work or you do a lot, I do a lot of times. But I'm not stressed. There's a big difference between, people perceiving you as like, oh, you like do this. I do a lot. I wrote a book. At the same time, I ran classes and I taught lessons and I had gigs and I'm a mom. And like I did a lot of projects at the same time, but I never felt stressed. So stress is really that inner feeling. You could not do a lot and be stressed. It's really, maybe if you have someone in your life who just causes you a lot of grief, that is stress. Although you may not be someone who does a million projects, you could still be stressed. So dealing with stress is one of the most important things you can ever do. And what I found really useful is, of course, really adopting a very positive mindset, and you can train that. Make affirmations, and the more you tell yourself those positive things, the more you're going to believe them. Meditation is also great because you train your brain to let go of all the clutter that's constantly rotating around in your head. You can actually learn to be more calm and to not constantly have this stuff rotating in your mind. And then, of course, working out and physical exercise really is great for relieving some stress also. Your sleep is also a very important factor. If you constantly don't sleep enough, it's going to have an effect on your health. So never underestimate how important sleep is. It's so terribly important. Your sleep is so important for your brain. While you sleep, your brain regenerates and repairs itself, and things from your short-term memory move into your long-term memory. So sleep is extremely important. My daughter's turning 8 this year, and I'm already telling her all the time how important sleep is. A lot of kids think like, oh, I hate sleep. I wish I didn't have to sleep, because they always want to do stuff. But the things you do are going to be so much more quality when you actually got enough sleep. So it's not like you're wasting time sleeping, because you are more productive and your brain just is working so much better when you did get enough sleep. Now let's talk about nutrition and herbs. I want to go through each phase in your cycle, and according to the phase, you can use different herbs and different activities and different foods that really support that phase. So let's start out with the menstrual phase. Now, in traditional Chinese medicine, the menstrual phase is when you really rest. you don't exercise, you don't take any herbs. So however, what I do is like I rest. I stop taking Vitex. That is when I take a break. I've been taking it for a few months now. And if you take a break for the first 5 days of your cycle, starting with the first day of your menstruation, you can take it for a longer time and it's really effective then. So in your menstrual phase, you're at a low, hormonally speaking. So progesterone and estrogen are really low. And that's when you should do more stretching, walking, maybe very soft yoga kind of exercises. As far as minerals go, you need more iron because you need to replenish blood. You're losing blood. So, iron is a really good supplement to take then. And also vitamin C. And you can drink raspberry tea, nettle tea. Nettle is really great for iron. Turmeric and cramp bark. I have noticed a difference taking cramp bark. I take an actual, like an extract in liquid form, and it really reduces the cramping. I never had bad cramping, but really, I can tell you that there's hardly any cramping. It's so smooth because it really relaxes the uterus. Bone broth is great in this phase. Bone broth is full of collagen that is good for all the connective tissues, for any mucus, for your skin. Avocado, ground flaxseed for omega-3, and sprouted pumpkin seeds. Ashwagandha is also a great supplement to take. It's an adaptogen, which means it really generally helps balance hormones. The next phase is the follicular phase. This is when your body prepares for ovulation, and this is when your uterine lining is built up, and of course you want to nourish that. As far as exercising goes, you can do a little bit more high intensity now. I do yoga, hiking, walking, and some light jogging then. Probiotics are really important now. Zinc is really great, although I take zinc throughout my cycle, and eating lots of fiber. Cruciferous veggies are great, and fermented foods. I make my own sauerkraut, I make my own kefir, and so this is a great time to really help that gut flora also. And in this phase, I continue drinking nettle tea, and it's also when I start drinking holy basil tea. So I mix nettle and holy basil, and I also mix in raspberry leaf tea. I make just one tea where I put all 3 herbs in. I think it tastes pretty good. The holy basil, it just has this nice spicy taste. I like it. And holy basil is great for regulating blood sugar and boosting your immunity. Generally speaking, the follicular phase is more of like a cool phase. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's the cool phase, more of the yin. So this is the time where you shouldn't like have a lot of heat or hot food. It's more cooling stuff like maybe watermelon, and maybe not go to the sauna during that phase. The next phase coming up is the ovulatory phase. This is when you ovulate. I use those ovulation kit thingies to kind of check, and I also take my temperature. I also check my cervix, and I also check the cervical mucus. So once you learn those methods, you can really zero in, like, just really know within 1 or 2 days when you ovulated. And this is the time where you're at a really high when it comes to hormones. That's when you can do high intensity interval training and a little bit heavier jogging. And I'm gonna read this off my list now. Asparagus, spinach, figs, dandelion, raspberries, dates, apricots, quinoa, lentils, and fermented foods, of course, still are really great. And this is also when I start taking red clover. Red clover is really great for, cervical mucus, and milk thistle is another great thing. I haven't taken it yet, but it's in my notes. Maybe I'll add it one day. This is also a great time to do maca. Maca is also a great adaptogen. What I do, I make myself a nice milk, and I heat up milk. You could do almond milk if you don't have dairy milk. Put a little bit of organic cocoa powder, no sugar, and maca powder, and a little bit of cardamom, just a hint of it. It tastes really amazing. Another thing that I wanted to mention is, in order to help your endometrium thicken, so if you're trying to get pregnant, you can do castor oil packs. And you can actually do castor oil packs throughout your cycle. In like after menstruation, after your bleeding stops, in the first half, you can actually do the packs on your uterus. Really, all you need to do is rub some castor oil over your belly there where your uterus is, and then maybe cover it up with a towel because that oil is just kind of staining, and then put a warm bottle just warm yourself and lie there as long as you can for half an hour or an hour. Do that every day. Maybe you sit down, watch a show or read something if you ever have time, and then let it warm. It really helps the uterine lining to thicken because it promotes circulation. So anything that promotes circulation, like a lot of walking, getting lots of fresh air, can really help. And after ovulation, you can do castor oil packs on your liver, which is like right here on your right side, right below your ribs here. And so the liver really is important for the second half of your cycle because it actually plays an important role also in balancing your hormones. It has a lot to do with your thyroid, and so your liver is an important organ. So in the luteal phase, and I'm going to read off here again, your progesterone is high, your estrogen is still high, and of course, if you didn't conceive, then over the course of the luteal phase, your body is going to get ready for menstruation again, and the levels are going to drop to later on. But if you're trying to conceive, you never know if you did or not until the end of the luteal phase when your period is actually late. So you want to be careful and just do anything you can just in case you are pregnant so that you could still promote a healthy pregnancy. So magnesium is great because it relaxes the uterus. They always say a calm uterus is a healthy uterus when it comes to pregnancy anyway. Ginger is great here because it is warm and it also good for your circulation. It's also good for your digestive system, for your immune system. Dark chocolate or cacao nibs or like just, organic cocoa is great here. Celery, kale, sweet potato, parsnips, bananas, apples, pears, walnuts, chicken and fish, and peppermint tea is also awesome. Vitex, I continue taking Vitex here, and burdock root. And most of the herbs I just named, there are scientific studies that will tell you that they actually help. There's another topic, yoni steaming, which means you sit basically on a pot of steam, like there's warm water in there and some herbs, specific herbs, and then you just sit on the steam, with your yoni, with your female parts. I haven't found any scientific studies about this. There isn't any proof really. You could try it, but I would caution you. I have done it before, but I would caution you to either, don't make it too hot, and also just know that there's not any scientific proof so far, but I can imagine that it can really help you relax. So lavender, sage, nettle, rosemary, rose leaves, and raspberry leaves, put them in hot water, cook them, let them soak, and then steam yourself down there. It could really help circulation. But I just want to caution you that you don't want to make it too hot, you don't want to burn yourself. Other than burning yourself, I don't really think you could do a lot of harm as long as, make sure you dry yourself really well afterwards, because otherwise you promote fungus growth. We don't want that, or yeast bacteria. And so, these are the things that I found so helpful. I am in my 40s, in my mid 40s, and I can say that my cycles are still very nice. I mean, it's not always perfect. And of course, it's normal that it's not anymore that I could just, set the clock and I know exactly when I ovulate or when my menstruation starts. But for my age, I feel like I'm so much in balance hormonally. My sleep is so good, and I feel, I don't really get hot or cold too much. I just feel well balanced. So maybe you want to try some of these things. After a lot of research, I wrote these things down. I have my lists here on my tablet where I always look and I always keep researching. I have started working with a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and I'm getting a little bit of acupuncture here and there to support my cycles. If, of course, you want to follow my journey to grow my family, I made a blog where I put all my updates. You can find it on www.healthyminimalistmom.com. And we're on a journey. And I'm really happy to say that I feel very balanced at this time. And I'm such a strong believer in, instead of taking lots of medications, you can actually help your body by just supporting the natural systems and the natural processes. I'm a big believer that, my goodness, This body, I'm always amazed how amazingly this is made and how perfectly everything actually works when you let it. When you actually follow a lifestyle that human beings were made for, then your body can actually function like it was supposed to. And I always look at animals. It's like my dog, it's like he doesn't get sick. And I'm wondering, it's like, why is it that most animals, they don't get sick as much as human beings do? They don't get cold all the time or infections, and like we have all these problems. It seems like most animals don't have that. And I think it's because, of course, a lot of lifestyle things, maybe they don't stress, but if they do stress, you can see how a stressed animal is not a healthy animal anymore. And it's no different with us. So this was very much for the ladies. Let me know in the comments if you feel balanced hormonally or in any other way health-wise right now, or if you feel there's an imbalance. I'm so passionate about this topic that I just love talking to others and helping. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.